Hey everybody, welcome back to Spinner Rack. This is Mars here. I'm here with my boys Pete and Cal. Say what's up, gents.
What's going on?
Hey, ready to rock.
Hey, we're talking about that show that brings people together. Agatha all along. You know, if you want to have a coven, this is the way to rock. Okay. Hey, Petey, can you give us a little breakdown of the latest episode?
This is more backtracking into how Wiccan got to this point here. So it's kind of we introduce to was it William Kaplan, and he's this boy, this regular boy. He's just a regular boy living his life with his family that loves him, and a freak accident happens in the car, and we see Billy Kaplan, lose his life, and at the same point, he wakes up. We know, obviously, and we hear a voiceover from the Wanda and the kids and whatnot, and they said talk about Tommy, and we figure that one of Scarlet Witch's kids is in this person's body and he can read minds. So if you know the character, that's his powers. So then he's trying to figure out what's going on in his life, and he's like, oh, he can hear their thoughts. They're afraid. Somehow they're really afraid. And then he just catches it and figures out his angle for Tommy Kaplan's life. And then next we see him a little more well-adjusted. He's got a boyfriend in the car. He's been doing this detective work. Everybody does great detective work in movies. It's just like a hobby everybody has. And he's been following the Maximoff and the whole thing, and we get to see some of the stuff that's going on at the same time. So it's kind of actually that's in the beginning. They show the dome and all that other stuff. So basically, he's figuring out, and they're showing you how he got to this point, how he got to a point of not being able to speak, and he runs into the mayor of Easttown version of Agatha, and then they kind of do the switch. But she's extra cheesy in this portion of it, and we get to see how Wiccan got to this point. So how he got stuck, how he couldn't talk, how he got caught in the closet, all that stuff. In the closet, we're making a statement here. R. Kelly, that's the statement he was making. That trapped in the closet. Sorry, that's if it wasn't.
So you're talking about when he got caught with Agatha.
It's one of the two, gay or R. Kelly.
No, shut your mouth.
Away. I'm feeling numb.
That's really tight. Shut your mouth.
Come on, I do not want to go back in the closet.
Come again?
So Cal, what's your take on it?
I could talk about this a little bit with Petey the other day, and I remember people up in arms over the fact that in Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor was inhabiting this dude's body.
And partly because the morality of this whole situation is pretty fucked up when you think about it. I mean, what about the poor guy that Steve's been wearing like a meat suit all this time? This is an innocent man with a life, friends, family, hopes and aspirations for the future. You can't just snuff all that out because you want your dead boyfriend back.
And this seems to be A-okay with people.
Tommy!
Whoa.
Whoa.
Cool.
This is actually further along than they ever did with the Wonder Woman stuff. So I'm wondering if there's going to be anything vocalized, since this is a very similar situation.
But at this point, sorry, Cal, I have to interject. There's two very different things. With Wonder Woman, the guy was still alive, and you were over the body.
Oh my God!
And then this one,
oh my God!
So it's like
you're talking about desecrating someone's body because they died. He didn't get the proper death. We just pass on thing. He didn't donate his body to William Maximoff. He didn't donate his. It's like you got to.
He's dead. That's the key word. While the other one,
still interacting with people. He is still interacting with people as if he is as if he's Kaplan. His mother, his father, his boyfriend, all these other people think that this guy is still alive. Okay, this is not the same. This is not the same thing. This is worse. And then two, was William again? Was he gay?
I don't think so. You get that impression.
Okay, so not only are you foisting yourself on them, you foisted your sexuality on the guy too.
He's totally faking his life. We see in that portion where he realized he can phone it in, and then the parents won't realize anything. He does the move. So he's basically playing Billy Kaplan in this guy's life. And we look at the Wonder Woman, we say they took over the person's life, two moral people, like totally throwing away this other person's life. The family needs to know that he's dead and they're not the person. He's not the person. So he's totally faking. If we're totally against someone just invading somebody's mind, taking over somebody's life, we can't just say, well, he was dead. He's dead and he's gay.
I think we can say he definitely is dead, and therefore, it's a whole different person there. Because let's look the personality of Billy Kaplan. From William Kaplan to Billy Kaplan has totally changed. You can see the way he dresses, his move, we assume his sexuality.
So you're on our side. You're on our side.
No,
I'm saying for once.
I'm saying he is definitely different, and so I think he's a new personality, whether or not he has a name Billy Kaplan or not. Okay, so I think
hold on. That's for us, the audience, but for the people he is interacting with, he is still Billy Kaplan. For his mother, his father, for all the people who know him, that is still Billy Kaplan. So it's great that you can pick these things out, but we know the actual truth. This is not Billy Kaplan. He's usurped this guy's life.
The guy is dead.
What are you talking? There's rule. Unless he donated everything, you don't get the right to decide what to do with his dead body.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but the series I showed, William Kaplan is up walking around, interacting with people, saying he's William Kaplan. He's not saying, hey, I look like William Kaplan, but I'm really, the son of Scarlet Witch. My last name's Maxima. He's not saying any of that. He's saying he's who? That's right, you guessed it, Billy Kaplan. Right? He's using this guy's body. It's not cool.
His boyfriend is accepting of it because, hey, he don't care about anything. But if his parents heard that, you know how much they would flip to hear this? And not just send him to an insane asylum, to be like, if they prove it, he can, like he's sitting around there proving it because of the dome, because of all these elements that happened that was going on at the same time. They'll be telling him to get out of his body. He said, but I don't know if Billy's still alive. Well, then that's our decision to make. And this is the thing, the comic people decided that they were so moral that Wonder Woman couldn't have this thing where this wish happened that interrupted this guy's life. They interrupt his total life just so she can have, she was having sex with him, doing all this other stuff. If they got that much big issue with that, they can't accept this. They can't. You can't. You can't even say you like it.
I am saying that.
Do you like it?
Of course I don't like it, but I'm saying it's.
So then there we go. You got number two.
What's all this discussion about then?
The discussion is that it's a different thing when he's dead and can't say anything, as opposed to somebody who's alive but to go through all the motions. Okay.
Billy Kaplan is dead and he can't say anything because he's dead.
He's up there, up on high in heaven, looking down, saying, my parents don't, what? He's saying, I'm gay now? How many piercings do I need? In that hair.
All right, so we as usual, we have to agree to disagree. So
we're moving
on to the next subject.
You're agreeing to disagree. You're wrong. Flat out. You can't do that. That's
so
if the whole idea. If the whole
the only way for hold on a second.
If what happened in Wonder Woman 1984 was wrong, this is much, much worse.
I think I don't see it that way. But let's say for example, So Billy,
Take off the
hold on a
sunglasses,
second.
and maybe you will see what it is that we are talking about.
So look, let me make sure I get this. So Billy has the ability to live as long as he can inhabit another body that no one is there, the person is dead. But yet he can't do that. He should just die because, it's just according to you. Even though the person is dead and he can inhabit another body and continue to live, he can't do that. So Billy should just die. That's basically what you're saying. I mean,
No,
that's
we're not
the
saying
alternative.
that. We're not
That's the
saying what we're
alternative. So
saying.
then what's the
He
alternative
has
then?
the
What's
right to
the
die. His parents have the right to know. The problem being is that everyone now has woken up and being like, okay, he has, Wiccan is allowed to become this character, more interesting character, taking on the life of this person who died because we need him to have a real life from the imaginary life. So he getting this imaginary mental powers goes into something else and he moves on. We're saying that besides being bad, it's also something that comic fans were like, hey, this can't happen in the Wonder Woman. Now we're going to get in there and say, okay, this can happen because it's Agatha all along. And, we like this character. We don't like
But
our
it's been
one.
happening for so long. You had Kitty Pryde do it. You had Xavier do it.
Who
You
did
know,
Kitty
it,
Pryde do it to? What are you talking
no,
about?
I mean, taking over people's bodies. I'm
Come
trying to
up.
say phase through. With the new powers. Look, I'm just saying that, bro. It's been happening a long time, and people just brought this up recently, right? I think there's a difference. Look, I explained myself. I think there's a difference as to taking over someone who's still alive with free will,
Oh,
and forcing them to do stuff.
you're
As opposed to
saying like the Teen 17 again. There's so many stories where somebody flips
yes,
into someone's mind, but somehow they had a big issue when Wonder Woman did it. When it happened when Steve Trevor did it and the person was going about his life despite the life of the other person, when ultimately he got his life back. Wonder Woman understood that she shouldn't hold on to the past. That was the point of the story. But they said no, they went too far. They destroyed Wonder Woman's character by having Steve Trevor, this, that, and the other. You're saying it's a common convention in a story. We've seen a bunch of these
yeah,
stories. But then
bunch of
it
them.
wasn't when it was Wonder Woman. Now it's back to, yes, they do it all the time.
And I think with Wonder
Oh,
Woman, we are okay with it. Steve Trevor and her need to make some releases sometimes. You know what I'm trying to say? But morally, we're against it because you're basically taking over someone guy and forcing him or her. I think most guys are going to be
you're
cool with it.
back to where you're saying it's wrong. So it's wrong
No,
in the other thing.
it's wrong. It's right. It's different. It's death. Death
You just said it's
cancels everything else.
wrong.
No,
Turn
I meant
It's a
off,
wrong.
movie.
turn
The
off the
thing.
automobile. The fumes are getting to your head. You have gone back and forth on this. You said it's wrong, then it's
No,
not. Now
no,
you're
no.
going back and forth.
I
Stop.
misspoke. I
No, you're
misspoke.
trying to placate people. Stop placating people and take a position. Is it
My
right or
position
wrong?
is it is okay to do it if the person is dead. Period.
You are
Okay.
spinning. You're in the get us trying to put us in a spin cycle with this stuff, man. You are wilding right now. It's
Yeah.
look.
I don't see anything wrong if you're dead. If you're dead, you've given up all rights to your body. It's done. Okay? Move on. And I'm
Wow.
not saying the government should automatically come and harvest your brain and your toes and all that type of
You're
stuff.
dead. You may have given up all rights. You may have given up all rights to your body. If I go by what you're saying, however, this person is now living as you.
Yeah. It's
Temporarily, just to get over this hump. But once he gets older, what did he just say? And what did he call himself in the show? My name is what? Maximov. Don't
okay.
forget that. All right. So you're saying yes, he has to quote unquote because he's a child in this time and era, and he has to live under parents while he gets himself together. But he recognizes who he is, and in the whole purpose of him coming back and recognizing his child, he's trying to find Tommy again, right? I think that's the main motivation there. I don't know if
Usually, when this is done, the dead person comes back in a totally new body. Like that, they had some series where it was some hot chick and she died. And when she came back as this overweight chick.
Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah.
that was a brand new person. This was not like, oh, wait a minute. This was, this was Sally Bean, and okay, and now Sally Bean is being inhabited by the dead model. No, it's usually a totally new person. It's like reincarnation, if you will. That's usually what they do. Okay, this
But he
is not
can't
that.
do it here. He has to take over a body that's about to go,
No, he
expired,
doesn't. He
right?
doesn't have to
And I
do
Didn't
that.
they
They
do
just
that?
and I think yes, he does. And so I think the way the rules are set up here,
that was just
he had to
that
do it.
was just the choice of the writing room because they wanted some twist. That's all it
Well,
was.
we can only work within that world, right? If you want to go outside of the world, it's different. The world is he's there. He wants a body. He has to find something else. So your thought is, should Billy
It's really
die?
bad when you think about it too, because they gave us a whole backstory for Billy Kaplan. They show him at his bar mitzvah, how much his
Yes.
parents love him, and then he gets killed, and now Maximoff is Tommy's in there, and you're like, well, wait a second, what are you doing, man? You're not supposed to be doing this sort of stuff. So I'm really going to be curious as to how they're going to resolve this, because again, I agree with you. This was a trophy that they used to use, and nobody thought twice about it.
Yes.
Again, then magically it became, no, this is wrong, so on and so forth, because we always got to enforce morality on these fictional things, okay, even though Terrifier 3 can come out. So now they're like, all right, so what's the situation? We're supposed to have it's supposed to be, according to these guys, is zero tolerance for this type of stuff, but you're already trying to give them a permission structure where they can weasel their way out of it. So what's going on? What happened? Who do we have our resume with that you didn't tell us about? Well, now we got to come over here and agree with this. Uh-oh. Stoneface. You won't tell me who got the resume, right? Okay. Thanks, Mars.
The resume is with Disney, of course. So we're gonna rock with this as far as we can go. Okay, we're okay with it.
Are you okay with if you die, someone takes over? What's the name? Say Dr. Manhattan, like in the Watchmen TV show. They decide that they're going to use your body because nobody has claimed you, even though your family is worried sick. You're just somewhere that he says, I'm taking over Mars's body, right? And he goes into your life, turns gay, leaves your kids and whatnot. You're going to be okay with all that?
Which is dumb because Dr. Manhattan, with his power set, could just create a new body.
Let's not grit into that.
I think
he was trying to put his best moves on Regina King for some reason. So he decided that instead of just creating that body from scratch, which of course, as you're definitely correct. You didn't even need me to say you're correct. For some reason, that's the way they went. So they can say, okay, here we go. We got a John Doe. And they try to figure that portion out too. We got a John Doe. No one's looking for this douchebag. Boom. Here we go.
But here it is. This is what I think. I think that this may be a controversial statement, and I'm saying this here right now, okay?
Don't say it, man. Don't say it.
You okay with your guy taking over your body and going gay and leaving your family?
I think that when people die, they have organs that are clean and healthy, that they should voluntarily, unless you say no, they should be given to people who are waiting transplants. I think that should be the most ethical and humane thing as a society is what we could do.
This is not an organ transplant, okay? This is a full body and identity transplant.
Yep.
I'm just saying that the government should be able to do it so that we can save lives. So we can save lives here in America and throughout the world. Okay, it starts with a little organ. So, okay,
wouldn't that be hilarious if this happened to Mars and we were like, hey, next thing you know, we come over here like, Mars, what's going on? Oh, I'm gonna go do this now. I'm like, what do you mean you're doing this? What are you talking about? That's not you. Like, nah, I guess that's the you never knew, man. Get on. Like, what are you talking about?
Yo,
we'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, when did this happen at the end of the day? And then somebody tells us, well, he's really dead. So I got full rights to his body, and I'm just gonna rewrite the script over here. So now this is how he lives. Okay, see you at the parade.
Let's not. I'm saying for Mars, we wouldn't get as far as a piercing in his ear at the top. That's when we would flip out.
You're like, what's going on? Are you possessed? Yes, I am.
You got me. We got a curly dude now. It's like, what? It's like, come on, we gotta get you back to the barber. Give him his standard. No, the number 3 in the picture. Come on.
Where are you guys going? Oh, we're going to NYCC. Yeah, we're gonna check this out. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the parade. What? Wait, what? What are you talking about? What's going on? No, that's not this. Hey, I find this to be it's much more egregious than a lot of the stuff that we would have just taken for granted with comics, and especially like
Yeah.
a lot of the trophies that they had with film. But the other thing was, it's fiction. Nobody was. I mean, now they don't want somebody like Professor X shutting down people, mentally, so they can't do anything. Like, oh no, that's an invasion. This, that,
Yep.
and the other. That's mind rape. You can't do that. So on and so forth. That's assault. I'm like, okay, but this is okay.
Hmm.
We got no problem with this one.
Okay, so I don't know how we got onto this tangent. So what do we
No, it's an
think about
important
Professor?
comic book thing to say because people turn to Professor Xavier and say, "Oh, he made all of the Blob's people that were attacking the X-Men. He controlled their mind and told them to go back home to stop doing the crime that they were doing, trying to kill the X-Men." No, that's wrong. Like, come on, he can't use his power. He can't do nothing. They're all about people not using their power that they say this mind control is a little much. But then, you can decide that, you can change your mind and have the person that you like do the mind thing and say, hey, Wiccan, go and just take over whoever you want body. It's fine.
Right, but
Okay.
I mean, I've heard said by crazies that the X-Men didn't have free will because Professor Xavier, with the use of Cerebro, took over their will. And we all know that's not the case,
No,
right? They're all nuts.
Cerebro doesn't work like that. Cerebro doesn't take over their will. Cerebro, he used to locate mutants.
Right, but I'm just saying using amplifying his power. But I'm saying it's nuts. But
Mutants.
define mutants, right? And then when he gets to the mutants, then he reprograms them and makes them X-Men or whatever. We know that's not the case, right?
We don't
But
have to say right. That's not the thing. Is like when people decide that they want to make it more interesting. So Professor X is evil and Magneto's the good guy. Magneto said, in his own line, what is it? I need fear from mutants and total obedience. Under Chris Claremont's byline of his past, he said, you know, death for defiance to his mutates. So it's like we have someone that operates where he wants his mutants to obey, and then we're trying to turn Xavier into someone that forces the X-Men to do X, Y, Z. When the X-Men, the ones that have joined for whatever little reason they have, no, people have an issue with Professor Xavier going to Storm and saying, "Hey, you're living a fantasy here. You're not a goddess." And he's like, "Oh, look at you.
Yep.
I'm in here saying you're not a goddess." It's like, she's not a goddess. Oh no, there's a story in the present that he's this, that, and the other. Then I say, well, she also went to Cairo, was in Harlem. Oh, those are retcons. And her being a goddess later on isn't a retcon. Like people wake up and decide, okay, retcons are bad here because up here because I want to do this part of the argument, and then it's not mentioned when it's on the other side of the argument. It's like I can't do that stuff. I can't turn to Xavier being stern with her for the right reasons and saying you can't have these people worshiping you. You're not a goddess. And then if you were in Harlem and Cairo, running around the streets as vagabond stealing and whatnot, and this, that, and the other, and having your powers with the Black Panther, saving lives, and you go and say, I'm a goddess. They worship me. I don't want any offering, though. No offering, but, you guys can do this stuff. It's just, they're asking too much out of these characters where Xavier's just a stern teacher, and at the same time, he's also a guy who was, felt, I think in the early ones when Jean Grey decides to lead the team for a short period, he doesn't say much to it. When they decide to leave later on, he's like, what? Because they're doing Marvel. But in the comic, Xavier wasn't, those were his first students. He didn't do much interaction, but he was very positive around them. When he was just a geneticist and he was around the X-Men, he was like, hey, maybe the X-Men could take me home. he was a positive character, but they turned him to make Magneto cooler because he was already cool. He's cool as
he wasn't cool, man. He was a bad guy. I mean, never liked Magneto. He's a bad guy. And the problem with Magneto,
No, he was still cool as a bad guy.
Nah, he literally tortured people to be on his side.
But
you know what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say.
You don't think that's cool, Mr. Dr. Doom over there?
Hey, you need to leave Dr. Doom out of this, okay? There's a different level of food. People worship Dr. Doom because he's good. Okay, he brings the bacon. Magneto forces people to join him, or else they die. You know what I'm trying to say? Doom is right because he's trying to make the world a better place for you and I. You know.
But they decide that's two-dimensional. It doesn't work. So he is that. But that other thing is Chris Claremont wants to play both sides. He likes showing Magneto do good things, help the Fantastic Four, help the Avengers, even though they look at him like, hey, he's a bad guy. But then be able to play to it. Because that was the angle. At some point, the past would look back at him. Or he would make the wrong choice, which he did all the time. Or his powers fail when he needs them, when he needs them to succeed. But anyway, we've gotten off of this terrible Agatha thing that we hate, that all of us hate. That Mars
So what do
said
you
he
think?
didn't like.
So look, let's question about it. What do you think that? So I think we touched base on this before. I can't get over the whole concept of him being a witch. That's really, egging me on. Like freaking, he's a dude, bro, and a dude is not a witch. If you're not a wizard, a wizard is a learned magic user, and a warlock is, I guess, someone who inherits.
So let me get this straight. You have a problem with him being titled a witch instead of a warlock?
I'm pissed off that women are using
but
men's
his sexuality being usurped. You don't have any issue with that?
I have no problem with his body being usurped because he died. William Captain died.
You cannot have sex with dead people. This is totally against it.
He's reinvigorated a new body. He's a new person now. He's not the same person. He's just using new skins. You know what I'm trying to say? If you want to call it that.
Using new skins. That's what you call when someone dies. Not just donating for someone else. Now we're going to using new skins. Sounds like a bad rap song.
So this person doesn't have any.
What did you say, Cap? What did you say, Cap?
From the viewpoint that I'm coming from, the soul is yours. The body is also yours as well. It's not somebody where, hey, this is just a loan. I'm not into this Gnostic stuff. It's my body and it's my soul. Leave both of them alone. Okay. So if we're gonna go over here with like, hey, we got to title this properly. Okay, females are witches and males are warlocks. But it's okay. You can just toss it up once I'm dead.
Yeah.
You can just use my body for whatever.
It's two very different things, bro. And you're trying to confuse the public. And I think the people out there.
You sound like a second century Gnostic, okay? Both of these belong. The body, the soul. They're both mine. Stay away from both of them. I'm not to be reincarnated.
We're no longer in the belief that reincarnation is with the body physically. The whole thing is the soul. So therefore, the body, once a person passes away and their soul moves on, it's a different thing. You don't have to worry because your body's going into the ground. You're not going to come back out with that body. It's going to be something different. So all we're saying here with Billy is that
that's not the point. No, the point is not that, hey, once my soul leaves, this becomes somebody else's. It's still mine. It's always mine. It is mine. It doesn't belong to anybody else.
You're gone. Once you're gone, you're gone. Okay?
No, I'm gone. That's fine.
So
gone.
when you're gone, I will burn your body.
If I can't use it, no one can use it.
You see,
especially not what I'm seeing here. You can't use it. You can't have it.
This is why I go back to the whole donations, right? That the government should be allowed to help people who are on these long lists.
Okay, you've been on this trip. No, you've been on this train. You've been on this power tripping train for like the last 4 or 5 shows, man. You keep talking. What is it? Power, control, government. I don't know where this is coming from. The government should be allowed. What are you saying? The government should be allowed to take your body when they see fit, i.e., give me the power.
Unless you opt out. You know what I'm trying to say?
He didn't even drive yet. He 13
How do you opt out?
at the bar mitzvah?
Well, he didn't put it in.
He died in a car accident. How did he opt out?
Well, when you get your driver's license, you ask, can you? It shouldn't be, hey, can we give you okay? Well, I'm talking about life. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Look, you and I are diametrically opposed because as soon as your soul leaves your body, we were going to burn it. All right, just put that thing on fire.
You after are not connected to his family to make it.
I would rather that.
What we need.
I
After we
would
take
rather
out what
that
we
than
need.
somebody wear my body, as you say, a skin, and
Yeah.
do things with it that I would never have done in life. It's mine, not
Once
yours.
you're dead,
It's your own.
you lose all ownership. Okay?
Wow.
And the government can do as they wish.
Here we go back again. The government.
Unless
What are
you
those
have
terms you
opted out.
like? Power, control, impose,
I never said
government.
that. I never said that. I never said that. Cal, you're putting words in my
That book
mouth.
you were working on, Mars. What is it? What's that new book? Unleashed Business. No,
It's
no, you
how do I
can't do.
help you help yourself?
No, you can't do that. No, you're taking away You're still taking away that person's dignity in the living world. You can't do that.
Okay, we're gonna have to
We wouldn't
disagree.
take. We wouldn't
We're
take the
back.
time. We would
We're
not
back
take
on
the
this. We're
time.
back on this. We're back on this subject.
No, no.
And so,
No. This I want to say, in case anybody is listening and actually paying attention to the argument. We do not take the time as people to have customs for funerals and funeral rites and all of these other things if we didn't believe that the body is important and that they belong to this person. That's why this grave belongs to this particular person. Okay, it's not shared with anyone. We don't put two people in the same casket and say they serve that at the end of the day. So there
well,
is
they do put the same. They put multiple people in the same grave. And
No,
the
that's
fact of the
the
matter,
family have
and
agreement.
that's called a
and
mausoleum.
and people have been the fastest growing type of service has been the cremation. So
I mean,
people have come to recognize
right.
that
But
the body
we
itself
usually put
does
one
not
body
connect.
per. It's usually one body per urn, right?
We hope.
We don't throw a whole bunch of
Wow.
people in there, mix up the ashes, and say, okay, good. Now we got Kool-Aid, right? No.
No, nobody's there to see. We hope. I guess I say that. We hope.
Well, as long as you're not in charge of it, I think it should be okay.
Well, if they give you a 3-for-1 special, why not, right?
Like, hey man, I just died. What am I gonna do? Well, here, take this body.
Yeah, and
He's
we know
not.
what we'll give it to
He's
you
not
for one
using it
third of the
anymore.
cost. If we combine all three of you guys together at the same time, we'll split the ashes up.
All right, I think
Yeah, I
you've
think
gone off the
okay.
deep end again.
Okay, so hey, if you like what you hear, comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and of course, once again, agree with me in the polls.
And if you
Spinnerack,
didn't, hold on, and if you didn't like what you hear, please like, subscribe anyway. Not
Yeah,
all the views
please.
are the same. Thank you.
We're not
you guys,
letting
you guys
Mars take your body and invade it with more Maximoff kids. So, Spinnerack
Out.
out.